Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when everything can change, not over time, not gradually, but in a single heartbeat. One decision can become the turning point that separates who you were from who you're meant to become. We often think transformation happens slowly, step by step, inch by inch. But the truth is, most of the time, our lives pivot on a moment, a word spoken, a truth heard, a hand reached out, one decision to walk away from what's destroying us or walk toward the light that's been calling us. That decision, that single moment, can redeem years of wandering and restore what was lost. Many people spend their lives waiting, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until the pain is less or the confusion is gone. But transformation doesn't wait for us to be ready. It shows up when we least expect it. The message that can shift everything rarely arrives with trumpets or fanfare. It often comes like a whisper in the storm, a flicker of hope in the middle of despair. That moment is sacred. It's the intersection between grace and truth, between who we are and who we could be. But the decision is ours. People can hear the truth 100 times and walk away unchanged. The heart must be willing, the mind must be open, the soul must be tired enough of running that it's ready to stop and listen. This is why a single decision has such power, because it's not about understanding every step of the journey, it's about surrendering to the first one. It's about turning your heart towards something greater, something beyond yourself. In that moment, chains break. In that moment, hope floods in. In that moment, your past loses its grip and your future begins to unfold. The most incredible part is that the opportunity for this decision is always available. It doesn't expire. You don't age out of redemption. You can't sin your way out of grace. No matter where you've been, no matter how far you've fallen, there's still time for a new beginning. There's still time for a new path. The door has never been locked. You just need the courage to reach for the handle. Too often, we underestimate the weight of a single yes. We think we need to fix everything before we can be accepted, or figure everything out before we take the first step. But the truth is, transformation doesn't come from fixing yourself. It comes from admitting you can't. It comes from placing your trust in something unshakable, something eternal, something that already knows your name. And when you say yes to that, when you make the decision to turn, to believe, to surrender, your life will never be the same. There's a voice that speaks when everything else is silent. It doesn't shout. It doesn't force, but it speaks, clearer than any noise the world can make, and it speaks directly to your heart. It's the voice that calls in the dark, the one you may have tried to ignore, to silence, to drown out with distraction or achievement or noise. But even in your loneliest moments, when your own thoughts feel too loud to bear, that voice never leaves. It speaks when you're lying awake at night, wondering if your life means anything. It whispers in the middle of your busyness, asking if this is really all there is. It doesn't condemn, but it won't lie either. It calls, not to shame you, but to awaken you. This voice doesn't come from the world. It doesn't speak like the world, doesn't flatter you, doesn't flatter your pain either. It calls you by name, not by your mistakes. It sees who you are, but it also sees who you could be. And when that voice speaks, something in your soul recognizes it, not with fear, but with a strange and holy familiarity. Because you were made to hear that voice, you were made to walk in its truth, and every time you've wandered, every time you've tried to fill the ache with something temporary, it kept calling. Maybe you've tried to ignore it. Maybe you've labeled it as guilt or your imagination. Maybe you've tried to cover it up with success, with relationships, with habits that made you feel in control. But nothing satisfied you, did it? Not really, because that voice isn't calling you to perform, it's calling you to come home to truth, to come home to peace, to come home to the one who never stopped loving you. even when you couldn't love yourself. In the darkest moments of your life, when no one else could reach you, that voice was still there. When friends left, when the bottle didn't numb it, when the lights went off and you were face to face with yourself, that voice still spoke. It didn't speak in anger, it spoke in love, because the one behind that voice isn't afraid of your past. He's not surprised by your mess. He knows your story, every chapter, every regret, and still he calls. Not because of who you are now, but because of who he created you to be. And until you answer that voice, until you respond to that call, you'll always feel like something's missing. This is the moment to listen, to stop running, to realize that the very thing you've been searching for has been calling out to you all along. You were never forgotten. You were never forsaken. The voice that calls in the dark has always known your name, and it's still calling now. There's a deep hunger in every human heart, a restlessness that nothing in this world seems able to satisfy. People chase after more money, more status, more pleasure, more validation. They build empires, gather followers, fill calendars, and fill closets. But when the noise dies down and the curtain falls, there's still a silence inside that success can't fill. It's the silence that echoes after the applause fades. It's the hollowness that comes when everything you thought would make you whole leaves you feeling emptier than before. Because no matter how high you climb or how much you achieve, there are empty places in your soul that only one thing can fill. The world will offer you everything except what you truly need. It will sell you 1,000 distractions, but never give you peace. It will give you temporary highs that always leave you with a deeper low. That's because you weren't made to be satisfied by things that perish. You were made for something eternal. And no matter how hard you try to substitute, no matter how convincing the counterfeit, your soul will know the difference. There's a reason why people with everything still fall apart. There's a reason why those at the top of the world still feel like something's missing. It's not a flaw in them. It's the fingerprint of a creator who designed them and you for something more. You can't fill a spiritual void with material things. You can't medicate a soul wound with worldly remedies. You can numb it, you can distract from it, you can pretend it's not there, but the ache will always come back, because that ache is actually a gift. It's not your enemy, it's your invitation. It's the reminder that you were never meant to do life without the one who made you. You weren't designed to be your own God, your own source, your own savior. You were designed to live in relationship with the one who knit you together in the womb, who knew your name before the foundation of the world. The empty places in your life are not a sign of failure. They are a sign of need, and that need can only be met by the one who is fullness itself. You don't need more stuff. You don't need a better image. You don't need another temporary fix. You need truth. You need hope that doesn't shake. You need love that doesn't leave, and the good news is, it's not far off. It's not hidden. It's already been given. The only question is, will you receive it? Because the space in your heart that feels so empty isn't a flaw to be fixed. It's a space to be filled, and it was always meant for him. There's a kind of freedom the world can't offer, and it begins with one word: forgiveness. Not the kind that forgets without healing or pretends like nothing ever happened, but the kind that reaches into the darkest parts of your past and says, you don't have to carry this anymore. Forgiveness is the turning point between shame and peace, between chains and liberty. And the truth is, no matter how broken your story is, no matter how far you've gone or how deep the stain runs, there is a forgiveness that can wipe the slate clean and set your soul free. You don't have to be stuck in the prison of regret, locked up by choices you can't undo. There is a key, and it's already been offered to you. Many lie burdened with the weight of what they've done, haunted by failures, mistakes, and memories they wish they could erase. But no amount of punishment can undo the past. No ritual, no routine, no denial can remove the guilt that lingers when you know you've fallen short. The reason that ache won't go away is because your soul is crying out not for forgetfulness, but for forgiveness, for mercy, for cleansing, for a new beginning. And that's exactly what's being offered. Not a lecture, not a penalty, not a second chance you have to earn, but a gift paid for in full, a pardon written in blood and sealed in love. Some think forgiveness is too easy, too simple, too undeserved. But grace has never been about what you deserve. If it were, none of us would stand a chance. That's the beauty of it. Real forgiveness is not a reward, it's a rescue. It's not based on how bad you were or how good you'll be. It's based on the heart of the one offering it. And that heart is full of compassion. That heart is not waiting to condemn you. It's waiting to cover you. The chains you carry don't scare him. The dirt on your hands doesn't drive him away. In fact, that's exactly why he came. To take the punishment you could never bear, so you could walk free. And when you truly receive that forgiveness, everything changes. Your past no longer defines you. You'll fail.